to talk about this because I just have to laugh at this dude because one, I feel like this dude is one of the biggest frauds and hypocrites that I've ever seen, and he constantly displays selective outrage and inconsistency. And then he's trying to act like he's just on this fake crusade for justice when in all reality this dude is just mad and holding a vendetta against a dude who basically wouldn't allow an artist to come over to his label at the time. And that's what this is all about. And if anybody is moved and basically supporting 50 Cent on this crusade against Diddy, is just laughable. When 50 Cent is a long time hypocrite and a fraud himself, you have to ask yourself, why does 50 Cent always fall out with people? He has a long history of falling out with his artists, a long history of falling out with other artists, losing lawsuits from trying to basically duplicate and steal somebody's technology to, allegedly putting out tapes and stuff with, a rival artist, mother or BM, whatever you want to call it. And he further displayed his hypocrisy and what a coward he is when basically he flat out ducked the fade. And, I laugh at the fact that everybody keep talking about the 50 Cent is supposed to be some golden glove boxer and all this stuff. Well, I seen 50 Cent basically, training, and he looked mediocre to me. I didn't see nothing special about him. And at the same time, you do know golden gloves doesn't translate to being like an expert in boxing, or basically somebody that would have been a standout pro. Well, I think a lot of his fans be hanging on to that, but there's been at least a few occasions of 50 Cent getting whooped. That's why he has all that security. I mean, if his hands are so good, how come Black Child was able to get close enough to, basically yak him, and stick him if his hands are so good? And then he never did deny that him and Ja Rule got into it, and that Ja Rule supposed they got the best of him in a squabble. All he does is just say Ja Rule ain't a good rapper and all this kind of stuff. But when I saw him basically duck the fade with Stevie J, now let's not get this misconstrued. I am no means by any stretch of the imagination trying to defend the alleged actions of Sean Diddy Combs and, Stevie J. But I'm just saying this dude, 50 Cent, contradicts himself on a regular basis. This is the same dude, like I said, backed out of a fight in less than 24 hours with Floyd Mayweather after talking all that stuff. And I was cracking up listening to this video Ellie Setback putting together, had put together talking about 50 Cent, and, Ellie, he likes to pour it on thick. And I just was laughing. I don't even think 50 Cent can beat Blueface in a fight. I think Blueface would scrape him, and that's just the bottom line. And 50 Cent won't accept the fade because he know if he loses, his so-called bad guy bully image disappears. And like I said before, to hear him basically flat out duck the fade with Stevie J, which I'm not saying Stevie J wouldn't have had lost to him, but 50 Cent don't even want to take that chance. This dude said that you got to get past security, and then he does this video throwing a couple of punches in the air, doing some shadow boxing, which, by the way, that wasn't very impressive, and say, I hope you get past security. Dude, security work for you. All you got to do is say, hey, Stevie J, I accept your challenge. I'm going to drop my location. We can meet somewhere, or we could do a charity boxing match. But he wouldn't accept because at the end of the day, he has this fear in the back of the mind that he might lose. So he ain't real. And then he always tries to weaponize accusing somebody of participating in, you know what I'm saying, man on man activity. But he likes to weaponize it. But then if you watch the TV shows that he's a part of, he has a lot of that featured in his TV series, from Power, the original Power, to basically having, you know what I'm saying, the gay drug lord, in which he ended up shooting, if I'm not mistaken. And then we know what's going on, Power Book 2, Ghost. So either you support it or you don't. You can't have it both ways. You sit up there, you try to weaponize it and use it as a attack tactic towards people that you're supposed to not like. But then at the same time, you condone that and have that on your TV shows. So the dude is just like all over the place. I mean, a lot of his groupie fans live off this so-called, he used to be an amateur boxer. And I'm like, well, where's the footage of him actually boxing somebody and winning some fights? Because I know Emmanuel Stewart said it, but at the same time, if you give somebody some money, they'll say whatever you want to say. Not saying that was the case, but I'm just saying, if this dude supposedly got these hands that everybody be saying, his fans, because I want to see all this footage of him, being, boxing around the amateur circuit scene. If he's so good, my thing is, if you're so good with your hands, how come you be turning down fades? And I just constantly watch this dude start beefs with everybody or be involved in beefs. Sometimes beefs that didn't have nothing to do with him. Whether it's Fat Joe, whether it's Cameron, whether it's just lightweight Jay-Z, just other people. Now all of a sudden this dude calling himself coming after anybody that has something to do with Diddy. Well, at least black people, that is, because that's all 50 Cent like to do is beef with black people, because he definitely don't say nothing about those white people. But then again, they write his checks for him to do those TV shows. So he basically has to stay on their good side. So it's easy for somebody like him to attack people that look like him. Because once again, he know that a lot of people will jump on the bandwagon and join him on his attacks against pretty much black people. But like I said before, when he said that you got to get past security, I was like, yeah, he don't want it. Because like I said before, security do what you say. You can say, okay, well, I'm finna send you a DM. I'm finna drop my location and I'll show up. We could get it on. But then he says you got to get past security. Once again, security work for you. They do what you tell them to do, not the other way around. So he's just showing that he really don't want the smoke. And I just laugh at the fact he just coming across as just somebody being bitter and being angry, because at the end of the day, he's still taking an L to Diddy, because Diddy got his, the mother of one of his kids involved in a situation. And then you have to ask yourself once again about 50 Cent's character, because here's the thing. Why you have such a strained relationship with your biological son, your other biological son, Marquise? And like I said, why you have all these histories of basically initiating these beefs? And I mean, by the way, he got destroyed by Jadakiss in that diss record, to the point he didn't even really try to respond to that. But that's what type of dude he is. And then he tries to make it look like he's just this stellar writer, when basically a lot of songs that he say that he wrote for people, like he may have wrote the hook and everything, but he make it look like he wrote the lyrics and everything, the entire song, when basically he might have wrote the hook. So I just laugh at the fact that this dude continues to display his hypocrite image. And a lot of times people won't call it out, but I'm the guy that call it out. Now, I want to put this out. I want to display what a fraud 50 Cent is. Like I said, if you're going to have this stance against people that supposedly be grooming people and allegedly have done this, that, and the third, well, you got to have it with everybody. Not just one particular person, but this is how I'm exposing Curtis. Now, unfortunately, we lost Mr. C. He was the former DJ of Big Daddy Kane, and he was, very active in the hip hop community. But make no mistakes, let's talk about Mr. C's history. Now, keep in mind, Mr. C got caught with, he got caught on multiple occasions, or he's been linked to the very least to, transgender women. Okay, well, you know what? Fine. If you into that stuff, then that's you. If they of age, that's you. But he's also been linked to grooming younger men under the age of consent. And I noticed when somebody brought this to my attention that TMZ didn't really bring that up, because at the end of the day, I know their agenda too, because they don't want to have this conversation about, dudes that may live an alternative lifestyle being attached to predatory behavior, because a lot of times they like to play victim. They like to make it look like everybody has it in for them. But you can make the argument that a lot of times they groom and they come after, young boys and girls, and basically possibly you can make the terminology, turn them out, have them questioning themselves. Because like I said, when something dramatic happened to you at a young age, a lot of times you question yourself, who you are, where you are at this point. And this is why a lot of times, especially in our community, we don't do what we supposed to do, which is try to seek counseling and stuff when you go through a traumatic moment like that. But Mr. C has been linked to that. But yet you didn't hear Curtis talking about that, but he talking about, RIP and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just saying the hypocrisy in this dude is just laughable. He's just very laughable with his hypocrisy. And how does anybody take this dude serious? I mean, he is just a cornball and he is a fraud. And it's unfortunate that nobody wants to call this out, because they too busy pandering to this dude. And I understand people have a favorite guy that they like. I understand that he's, he's a idol to some people. They like his music. And this is the problem that you have with basically being a fanboy or a fan girl. But see, that's the difference between me and these other people. I'm just pointing out the obvious. But nobody wants to have these conversations. They don't want to have real conversations about certain people. So that's why I just find it laughable that this dude sits up here on social media, talks all this junk. You constantly wagging your finger and pointing your finger at Diddy, but then at the same time, you could do a background search on Mr. C, what he's been linked to or possibly been linked to. So I'm saying you got to have that same energy. And even before he passed, you wasn't saying nothing about this dude. And this is why I know that this thing with Diddy it's more personal. And then he goes around sitting up saying, well, he better not find out that somebody been, or what's going to happen. And this is what I mean about this dude being a rat and an informant. He been a rat. He been a snitch. And I don't know why people get so upset when you bring this up about this dude. Because fact is fact. You can look up all this research about this dude, like for real. He just remind me of like Al Bundy and stuff. His fans, when Al Bundy be talking about he scored 4 touchdowns in one game. This is how his fans treat this amateur boxing thing. They make it look like because you heard he's supposed to be some amateur boxer, he could whoop everybody's ass. But my thing is, well, how come he won't accept no fades? He's been challenged and called out for many fades, but he refuses to accept them. Like I said, when he backed out of that fade with Floyd Mayweather, that told me all I needed to know about him. That he just talking, he just an internet troll. And that's all it come down to. You know, I just say this about 50 Cent. The dude is a coward, and that's all it come down to. He a coward and he a troll, and he the worst kind of troll there is. He ain't no different than dudes like Charleston White. And you know, Charleston White, at the end of the day, what he said, and you had people trying to basically justify Charleston White, what he said about Gilly the Kid losing his son and trying to taunt him about losing his son. You know, when do we draw a line in the sand and just be like, come on, man. Come on, dude. But you basically have people that try to justify this type of behavior. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to justify this type of behavior, especially from a fraud like Curtis Jackson. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's a hypocrite. And anybody with common sense knows this. But they so, you know what I'm saying? They so infatuated with him being a celebrity and his music. And I'm going to tell you something else. 50 Cent ain't made good music in a while. Now this is a dude that, he had a good run. He had a good 6-year run. The G Unit albums, the 3 albums he put out. But at the end of the day, his his milk and cranny is basically centered around the TV shows. And that's why I laugh and I know what type of dude he is. He ain't said nothing about, and this is just real talk, he ain't said nothing about none of these white celebrities that's into that kind of stuff. He ain't said nothing about the New York Knicks owner, James Dolan. Ain't said nothing about him. Damn. Ain't said nothing about what Bob Kraft has been tied to, but all of a sudden, this dude go on this relentless tirade towards, you know what I'm saying, Diddy. And he don't have nobody fooled. He consistent at being inconsistent. My thing is, have the same damn energy. And he don't have the same energy. I see we got a 50 Cent troll on here. Well, here's the thing, dude. Have you ever seen me fight? Because I'm very good with my hands. Look, and this is what I'm saying. Here goes somebody that's upset because I'm talking about 50 Cent. Oh, he would knock you out. How do you know? You ain't never seen me fight. You ain't never seen me fight. But this is what I'm saying. And this is how he just proved my point because he came on. He would knock you out. Ha! Ha! First of all, he wouldn't accept. He wouldn't, and he would do like what he did with everybody else. He definitely wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? With me, he wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, he too big of a coward. You know what I'm saying? This dude sitting up here constantly trying to dry snitch and build cases. Like I said before, you got to have that same energy towards everybody if you against this. So like I said before, why are you bigging up Mr. C? That's all I'm asking. It's not like you can't do research on Mr. C, what he's linked to. So I'm just saying you gotta have the same energy, and Curtis don't have the same energy. All he do is like to harass and try to pick with black people, but he tries to hide behind his security. He been called out for several fades and he won't accept it, but he's supposed to be such this stellar amateur boxer. Laughable. And when I say laughable, I mean flat out laughable. But I knew eventually that one of his groupie fans would come on here and get upset. And I'm gonna be honest with you, John. I'm glad you upset. I'm glad that it's bothering you, and I'm glad that you triggered by it, because that's the whole idea, is to make the 50 Cent fans and people like him upset. 50 Cent would never accept no fade with me, because he has too much to lose. And I'm not challenging him to no fade. Come on, man. I'm not challenging him to no fade. I'm just asking the question, why won't he ever accept the fade? Why are you telling somebody that you gotta get past the security when all you gotta do is tell security, like, hey, I'm finna send this dude a DM. We gonna meet at a private location. We gonna square up. That's it. That's all. But you sit up here and insinuate, yeah, you and so. Once again, like I keep saying, why are you always worried about, why are you infatuated with that? So I'm just saying, accept the fade. Accept the fade. I mean, you got time to sit up here always tweeting and going on Instagram. Accept the fade. But you won't do it because, like I said, you a coward and you a hypocrite. Like, that's just real talk. None of this stuff that I'm saying is a lie. You can look it up. So you want to say, you want to do a RIP to, Mr. C. I'm saying, yeah, that's fine. Okay, but cool. If you really have this stance against dudes that's supposed to be grooming people and violating young men and that kind of stuff, well, you got to have that with everybody. You just can't single-handedly pick and choose one person, because at the end of the day, people go see that and they gonna say, hey man, what's up, bro? You showing some inconsistency. But he been showing inconsistency. All this stuff about you know what I'm saying, that you seeking the truth and all this kind of stuff. Well, seek it towards everybody. Don't just speak out against the black dudes. Don't speak out just about Diddy. Speak out against everybody. What about Vince McMahon? Once again, what about Vince McMahon? What about Bob Kraft? What about James Dolan, who owned the New York Knicks? What about all the white dudes that's been attached to this stuff? Like I said before, you ain't tweeted one thing about them, but you always fixated on starting beefs with black people. And this is why, to a certain degree, people don't respect black men. One thing about me, I call everybody out. So I'm just saying, bro, don't sit up here and stay on social media. You talking all this stuff, but you don't really be about the action. Everybody knows you travel with like 6 or 7 bodyguards that are former law enforcement, but that's why 50 Cent don't. That's why 50 Cent really don't make anti-police songs, because he worked with the police and he been working with the police for a long time. He ain't no different than, he ain't no different from dudes like Whack 100 that go around calling everybody else snitches and all this kind of stuff. But then, and then call somebody, a homosexual remark, but then you hearing about him wanting to have women stick their fingers in his, in his pothole and stuff. So I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. But I laugh at the fact that his fans are getting mad and coming on here trolling and all this kind of stuff. He'll beat you up. He'll beat you up. Leave him alone. Leave Curtis alone. I love the fact that y'all getting upset. Well, that's all he do is attack black people. He don't say nothing he don't say nothing. But then he sit up there and always and want to question the black people that then been around Diddy. But how come you ain't saying nothing about the white celebrities that then been around him? So that's all I'm saying. I mean, brother, man, be consistent. And that's something that Curtis ain't. He ain't consistent. He only like to start beefs with black people. And that's why he, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I want somebody to tell me that I'm lying. Prove to me that I'm lying about this dude. You can't, because I'm telling the absolute truth about this dude. Only want to beef. This dude only want to beef with black people. Show some consistency, homeboy. Had the same vitriol, had the same compassion. If you are against men being groomed as a whole, well, go on a real crusade. Call everybody out. But like I said before, you don't want to mess up your white people money. When 50 Cent gonna say something about Roman Polanski? Roman Polanski violated a girl that wasn't even, you know what I'm saying, not even 16. Got convicted. Been on the run for pretty much 50 years. Has continued to make, I mean, this dude is this dude is a flat out fugitive. And for all the people, once again, that's sitting up here calling themselves, congratulating 50 Cent for calling out Diddy. Well, once again, when you go call out Roman Polanski? This is a dude that's been literally on the run for 50 years. Not only was he arrested and convicted, which I'm trying to figure out, how did he get convicted and wasn't taken into custody after he was convicted? I mean, this dude has been on the run for that's why he don't make no movies in the United States. Because if he sets foot out here, he gonna be taken into custody. Roman Polanski is like 80 something years old. So once again, 50, how come you ain't saying nothing about him? Since you care so much, I know all this information. You sit up here, when somebody call you out, you do the go-to move. Oh, you're involved. Oh, you're sleeping with him. That's your boyfriend. You want to make those innuendos. But like I said, I'm still waiting for you to explain why you be getting text messages from Marshall Mathers where he be sitting up saying he finna come into town, he gonna ride Joe D. I'm still waiting for a response to that, since he seemed to be always worried about who every other man is sleeping with. And this is what I mean. And this is why I say that this dude is a fraud and he's a hypocrite. And he don't have that. He never displayed the same energy. Like I said, he only good for beefing and arguing with black men. You know what I'm saying? Are people from his own community, because that is the typical sign of Uncle Tom. Now, I'm gonna say this much about Stevie J. I'm not the biggest Stevie J fan, because I haven't forgot what he did to Eve. He might be the reason why Eve have all this vitriol, you know what I'm saying, towards black men, because he secretly filmed himself, having an intimate moment with Eve without her permission, and it got put out. Now, this is before that they passed all them laws about doing that kind of stuff. So I'm not defending Stevie J to the point to where I'm, on his side. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy, because Stevie J is a scumbag as well. And he's an alleged deadbeat daddy and all that kind of stuff. And he's an alleged serial cheater. So if you think I'm sitting up here just supporting Stevie J, you absolutely mistaken. That's all I'm saying. What's up with that? But this dude always sitting up here talking about somebody, some talking about that somebody is messing with somebody else. Like I said before, who play them kind of games? Like, I would never send nobody no text message. And the only reason why 50 Cent let people know that Eminem was sending him those type of text messages because probably somebody else got a hold of them and they was going to put them out. So he had to basically do a satire, like joking around saying, this is how me and Eminem play, or this is how Eminem plays with me. Like, dude, get out of here, bro. Dude, get out of here. Don't know men play like that. I can tell you this much. There ain't no tweets between me and some of the other brothers, like I said, that I'm affiliated with. I can guarantee you they ain't no, you know what I'm saying? I'm affiliated with the LDBC and people that's in the LDBC. I can guarantee you there ain't no texts where we saying that to each other. I can guarantee there ain't no text message between me and 7-8 talking like that, or Goodfella Sports TV, or my correspondent Miggs, or, you know, the brother that worked with Ellie Setback, or some of my other brothers in media. So I could guarantee you those ain't no, there is no kind of text messages like that. But like I said, he likes to try to weaponize that and say, "Oh, you and P Diddy and Stevie J, that's his boyfriend." But well, once again, why do you, if you try to weaponize that, why do you have all that? Why do you have all that stuff on your TV shows? Why do you have those kind of characters on your TV shows? Can't have it both ways, Curtis. And that's another thing. Because somebody need to call him out on that. Somebody need to call him out on that. That's just real talk. Because that could open up a whole nother can of worms. Like I said, this fake crusade against Diddy is exactly what it is. It's fake. And 50 Cent just needed to get called out on his hypocrisy. Like I said before, RIP to Mr. C, but you guys can look up Mr. C's, you know what I'm saying? You can look up his name and see that he's attached to some very questionable stuff. Very questionable stuff. So, you know, as far as him ducking the fade, I mean, in all likelihood, he should be able to whoop on Stevie J, but he won't take that chance because he's worried that something bad could go wrong. Either he could squad with him and get dropped and all that kind of stuff. Because when you play this persona as the bad guy and the troll and stuff, well, you got to go all in, but he ain't willing to go all the way through with it. Because like I said, when he got out of that fade with Floyd, when he basically said, "Oh, I'll do the boxing match," then he came back and said, "Oh man, I'm out. I ain't got to prove nothing to you." I was like, this dude is a straight up coward. So I just wanted to put that out there. The dude got his nerve, and the dude is just a hypocrite. But anyway, you guys, appreciate you. It's your boy Down. I said enough. Oh, and by the way, you know, Curtis, if you ever want to do a real debate, hey, you know where to find me. Nah, he ain't gonna do no debate. He ain't gonna do no debate. He too cowardly. Anyway, I'm out.